So, hello, beautiful people out there in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter land. This is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. I am Demetra K, and this here is Donovan, the recovering Democrat, Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner, because he is bald as hell. Okay. But anyway, if y'all can do us a favor, please like, share, subscribe, and all that. We would love and appreciate you. Today, we are going to be talking about the NAACP has issued a warning to what I'm going to say, as they said, people of color and other marginalized groups of people to stay away from Florida. Of course, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to show y'all a video on everything like that. Donovan, what say you?
Hey, it is 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That means it's Demetra K. That means it's Sunday, Demetra K Show. Thank you guys for coming in. Do us a favor. It is absolutely free. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. And also share this on your platforms. Real quick, if you do decide to and you want to help the show, we have a scrolling banner at the bottom, and it has all types of ways that you can contribute to the show. We don't mind the kind that rolls, but we prefer the kind that folds. So if you got some dough out there, just go ahead and drop it in there if you so do desire. NAACP. Black people getting murdered in the streets. Black people can't get bills passed in Congress. It's going to be up to Black people to save democracy once again. And you never see the NAACP in the streets or doing anything else. It's always these other fringe groups that you hear about actually fighting. When has Ben Crump been an organization unto himself? When was the last time you heard the NAACP stand up and talk about specific Black issues? We don't care about everybody else's issues. And by the way, Demetra, I saw your video in regards to Eric Adams sending some of the migrants into the suburbs. I mean, hey, if you're a Democrat or not, it does not matter. Republicans are shipping these migrants to the Democratic cities, Chicago, New York, because they're not border states. And the Democratic people are like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? Oh my gosh. So now they are starting to understand the situation and what actually is happening in regards to border state immigration and the Biden administration's job not to do anything. But this is going to be an interesting topic because the NAACP is basically thankless when it comes to Black issues. So let's get into it.
Yes, indeed. So hello, let's see, Maine, Robin, Mark, Bruce Wayne, Brown, JT, Raheem. Am I saying that right? It's kind of spelled differently. Hello to you. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? It says NAACP should be advising Black men to show up at these construction sites and bargain for good paying jobs that were left behind. That's what they should be advising if they want to help Blacks. Hey, Corliss, how you doing? And only panelists, wait, what's going on with you? Andre, how are you doing? People of colors, what they said. I'm telling you what they said. And Jan Michael, how are you doing? Hello, Jimmy. You say, yeah, go to California, Chicago, New York, New Orleans, or Portland, Oregon. Sorry if I'm freezing up, y'all. Just whatever it does in the beginning, but it'll get better. Where it is safe for us. I don't know about all of that. Facts Not Feelings. You say peace and love, family. Nowhere in the name. NAACP doesn't say Black. You're right about that. If they were not bold enough to put that for Black in their names, they don't represent Black people. Very, very true. Tracy, how you doing? Mr. Thunder, how are you? And Benjamin, what's going on with you? Says, good morning from Scandinavia, Denmark. All right now. And H. McDaniels, how are you doing? Says, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This month is going by so fast. You ain't lying. It's almost summer and it still feels like winter outside. Where are you at? Because here in Houston, it's hot. Brother Don, how are you? And Monet. All right, so let's get into it. And man, Scott, how you doing? All right, here we go. So the NAACP, the organization, I guess everywhere, right? They have issued this warning. And I'll let you guys watch this news clip really quick. And we'll come on back. Here we go.
NAACP issuing a travel warning for the state of Florida. And this is all in response to what the group calls, quote, aggressive attempts by Governor Ron DeSantis to erase Black history and to restrict diversity and inclusion programs in Florida schools. Earlier this year, DeSantis rejecting students' access to AP African American Studies in all Florida high schools. The formal travel notice states Florida is openly hostile toward African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals. Before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans and other communities of color. Other organizations representing marginalized groups in the state, including the Florida Immigrant Coalition and the LGBTQ Civil Rights Group, have also issued similar advisories.
All right. So one thing I would say about some of these politicians and these groups, such as the NAACP, they are getting smart and they are listening. Because you notice how they said African Americans and people of color. So they are making the difference there, because a lot of us are like, no, don't lump us into the people of color thing, right? Because it's the same thing that happened with affirmative action, a host of other things. Those things usually represent marginalized people, women, LGBTQ, and a whole bunch of other people, immigrants. They're marginalized people as well. And so Black people usually get left out. However, some of you guys may be wondering, well, what's going on with Ron DeSantis? Well, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, he is I would say this, he's out in the open about some of the things that he does and how he feels, but he's not rare. There's a whole lot of other Republican states that are making these very austere laws, if you will. So in regards to Black people, especially with the educational system, again, I'm sorry if I'm freezing up, but I think you can hear me fine. Educational system in Florida. So grades, I think it's K through 12. They specifically have an African Americans advanced studies course that wanted to implement, some things about Black people, right? But Governor Ron DeSantis says no for the most part, not to it completely, but there's certain things he does not want discussed, like slavery, reparations, Black Panther Party, and some other things, right? He doesn't want the truth to be known about what America has done to Black people. Of course, you guys know he's involved in a legal battle with Disneyland due to some LGBTQ issues, in addition to they had this thing that says don't say gay, so I guess they didn't want to say gay somewhere, I don't know. And of course, you know that Governor Ron DeSantis is also one of the Republican governors that has shipped immigrants to Democratic states, right? So the NAACP is taking up the helm, if you will, and telling people, and Black people, LGBTQ, and immigrants, I guess, to not go to Florida to stand against what Governor Ron DeSantis is doing right now. I think that's kind of silly, because we know that Black people, and there's a lot of Black people, live in Florida, including my family. I have family members from Florida. My sister is there as we speak. And my thing is, you want to issue a travel advisory to Florida and for Florida only? What about the rest of the United States? There's not one place in the United States of America that is friendly to Black people. I saw somebody say something about California, Portland. California is racist. They just not redneck racist, if you will. The red state racist. Oh, but trust me.
If the Blacks are on the streets here, the illegals get all the housing and all the benefits. Blacks don't get nothing.
Yeah, so California is racist. So the point that I'm making is there's nowhere here in the United States that's friendly toward Black people. But the other thing about the NAACP, National Advancement for the something, I don't even know, colored people, okay? We know that they were started in, 1908, and it was started by a whole bunch of white people and some Black people, right? And even if you go onto the NAACP's website, they have a white man. I think he's on the board, or he's has a very important job, right? So it's like, we know, as Facts Not Feelings said, it says colored people. It does not say Black people. It's people of all kind of colors here in the United States. And so they've never represented Black people, even though they'll say those type of things. But it's like, it's funny how y'all want Black people, and let's just put the other people in there too, to show up, to take a stance against Ron DeSantis, But yet y'all don't really show up for black people. Now we know that the Democrats and the NAACP go hand in hand. They are kind of the same thing, right? But y'all know what black people have been asking for in this country, really, since slavery ended. Reparation, land, peace, equality, and everything else everybody else gets, right? We haven't gotten it. And the NAACP, they, do stuff here and there, but they have not made a mighty mark within black people to say, you know what? We have really helped move the ball for black people. In fact, it's kind of gone backwards, if you ask me. And so when I hear about the NAACP wanting black people and everybody else to, stick it to Governor Ron DeSantis, it's like, are you high? All the things that we got going on in the United States of America, you want us to, back you up, sticking it to Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is really the least of black people's concerns, because if you ask me, especially with the African American studies, teach your own children. The white folks ain't gonna teach your children the right thing. Why would you want them to teach your children about the things that they've done to our people? They're not gonna do it right. They're gonna water it down like they've always wanted to water down. You send your children to school already knowing that stuff, so that way when they hear it, they're like, oh, okay, well, that ain't what I heard or whatever. But I'm not dependent on the public school system to educate my children. So I don't have a dog in the fight in regards to that and the other stuff. I mean, the immigrants at the end of the day, and let's keep it a buck. Are they supposed to be here undocumented? Because, in Florida, there's a bunch of immigrants who aren't supposed to be here working construction. There's like, well, let Ron DeSantis find 300 white people to do it. 300 white people don't want to do this job. But the fact of the matter is they ain't even supposed to be here. So I'm not saying Ron DeSantis is a good guy. He's a douchebag. Let's keep it real, okay? But we shall not be used by the NAACP to stick it to Ron DeSantis, and those same NAACP people gonna turn around in a couple of months and beg black people to go vote for Joe and Kamala in 2024, ignoring all of the stuff that black people have been asking for. So to me, I'm like, whatever, NAACP, I ain't doing it. I'm going to Florida before the summer's over.
Donovan? Oh my goodness. You said a mouthful. Now, Demetra, we've been doing this for about, 6 or 8 years now, warning and ringing the alarm bell and telling people what is really, really happening with the Democratic Party. For the life of me, I do not understand how black people today, right now, as we speak, could actually think the Democratic Party represents black people. Now, if you've been paying attention, we have the debt ceiling crisis going on. You know what the funny thing about the debt ceiling crisis is? The funny thing about it is it really doesn't affect black people, because in this economic system, we are absolutely at the bottom. So it really doesn't affect us, but it affects us in one aspect. If the debt ceiling does happen, which it won't, but if it does happen, it's going to affect black people more so than any other group, because if you're depending on that Section 8 voucher to come through, you're depending on food stamps, you're depending on all this other stuff. It is another way for them to put pressure on the Democrats to cut benefits for people who are at the bottom, which is mostly black people and immigrants, illegal immigrants, whoever you want to call them, to come here, right? And I'm watching this stuff, right? Do you think the Democrats, if they really cared about black people, shouldn't they be on the news almost 24 hours a day? All these representatives in all state houses hollering and screaming about the real repercussions of what this debt ceiling is going to do. They're not. So what I'm saying is, this game of you get it, I get it, good cop, bad cop, this is how they continue to suppress black people in poverty. While we sit there and let these so-called representatives do what they do to us, represent us, they don't represent us at all. Here's even a better example. How many of you guys watched the inauguration of the new mayor up in Chicago? This man ran on a progressive platform, then gets up there talking about this and that and that and this, and it looked all black. But here's what a lot of people did not read. He executive ordered deputy mayors. One of the deputy mayors represents immigrant affairs. That's what that deputy mayor is going to do. Now, where's the deputy mayor for Black affairs? This is a Black man. That's the mayor. When are we going to learn, you guys? I mean, it's just so sad that we just keep going around in these trick bags. And you know what the whole sad thing about this, Demetra? I always ask a person when I get in an argument with them, well, you know, Trump and the Republicans, they're evil. How do you rate what is more evil versus, evil? If it's evil, it's evil, right? So if the Democratic Party's evil and the Republican Party's evil, and you're supposed to be a so-called Christian or godly person, why would you vote for? Why even take part in any of this? At this point, it's just redundant. Nobody's coming to save us, and here we are. Jim Clyburn, the former number 3 in the House. Notice how all these, I'm number 2, I'm number 1. They all have disappeared now. These old Bojangles Clyburn. He said, to hell with reparations. Y'all ain't getting that shit. Forget that. What is it going to take for you guys to real? So my question to you, Demetra, is we've been doing this for 8 years, ringing the alarm, and a lot of people are getting it. But I don't think it's going to be enough to send a message to either of these parties that Black people do not want to be fooled with, and we want what is entitled to us. Recently, Barbara Lee and Cori Bush talked about they demand $14 trillion. Now, did you guys notice that when they demanded $14 trillion in reparations, they didn't say it's specific for ADOS? They did not say specifically for ADOS. They said $14 trillion reparations for Black and colored people and all the other stuff. They just want you guys to come back around because they're hearing what we're saying and they're hearing what you guys are doing. And I mean, it's ugly. So Demetra, my question to you is, what is it going to take for Black people to realize we don't have no friends? We are all we got. The Democratic Party's not going to save us. And I know I'm not a Republican. Demetra's not a Republican. But the point is, maybe if they do cut these programs, we would start being the great people we always have been, and we will rise at the end of the day. Maybe that's the solution, because you can't convince me a Democratic Party that was formed on racism that wanted Black people to be enslaved. What do you think they're doing right now? What do you think, Demetra?
Hello, Mr. Barr. How are you? And Emmett, how you doing? You say Democrats or Democrats and repugnant cans or cans rather are two tentacles of the same serpent. You are absolutely correct. Well, it's going to take for us to wake up. I don't even know what that means anymore, because we say that a lot, right? Like, wake up, stay woke. And really what it is just getting some information, getting some knowledge, right? Unfortunately, us as Black people, we suffer from the appeal to authority, right? A lot of times we see the NAACP, the Democrats, or your pastors, or somebody like that as the authority, right? It's like when you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, you go in there and say, oh, my right hand is hurting me. And he looks you over really quick, and he says, it's your left hand. Now, a lot of people like, oh, okay, well, he the doctor. He know what he's talking about. I know it's my right hand, but he said it was my left hand, so I'm going to just go with it. Okay, doctor. Well, what do you suggest? I suggest we chop them both off. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I'm being silly is because when we suffer from the appeal to authority, what we learn is don't ask questions. Don't rock the boat. Don't go against him because he is the authority. Same thing in church. Now, y'all know damn well some of y'all pastors be lying, right? You know that ain't whatever he just said or she did not come out that Bible. But because y'all have been taught to be afraid to even question, a lot of people think the ground gonna open up and swallow them up whole. If I say, well, when did it say we should swing from the chandeliers? Well, you don't question a man of God. So we got to get to the point where we say, okay, as Donovan often says about Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. I hear what you're saying. You're telling me, as Black people, we need to go continue to vote for more of the same of nothing. Why? Don't tell me because my mama and my granddaddy and all my people back in the day did it. Don't tell me because the Democrats are the party of the people. Don't tell me because of Donald Trump and the Republicans. We know all of that. Give me a reason why I should want to see my ass into the booth and vote for them. What am I going to get from it, right? Because if I go to the grocery store and I put some money on the counter for a loaf of bread, I expect to walk out of there with a loaf of bread. I don't expect to walk in the store and put my money on the counter and they say, well, we ain't going to give you the loaf of bread. And I say, well, if it has to be that way, I'll come back and try again in 4 more years. That's what we do. So we got to start questioning things. We got to start saying, I hear what you're saying, but back it up. Because as they say in the nation, it ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. So you tell me why I should continue doing more of the same and I keep getting nothing, and you make it make sense, you can do the math, then maybe I entertain it. See, that's what we have to get. But we also got to stop as people ramrodding nonsense down the throats of other people. And I always say this, and I haven't said this in a while on the show. The one thing that makes me mad is ignorant people being more loud and certain of what they're saying, and they'll go influence other people because it sounds good. Crack open a book. With Google being free, we should not still be this ignorant. It's just the truth.
Well, what do we always say on this show? Don't listen to what we say. Research what we're saying. Research it. You know, don't take our word for it. Research it for yourself, because we know the answer. We have the answer. I woke up a long time ago, and that's what we try to say on this show. And all the years that we've been doing this show, we've been ringing the alarm, telling you guys. Recently, Joe Biden received a doctorate from Howard University. If that does not tell you the Boule and the above leadership is totally on board with getting their checks and keeping you in a position of servitude to expect nothing, I don't know what else to tell you. And if you think what I'm saying is untrue, why the hell would you give a man that wrote the 1995 crime bill that incarcerated, estimated over 1 million people in the 90s? And when I say incarcerated, not necessarily in jail, but they were put under some kind of judicial probation or some kind of thing. Over 1 million Black people that was done to. Bill Clinton apologized for it, and a lot of the old people that are long gone apologized, like, well, you know, the pastor said it was okay to do and all this other stuff. And yet Joe Biden is in office right now, the author of the 1995 crime bill. He hasn't even thought about repealing that bill, which incentivizes states to keep prisons, especially private prisons, at a 90% capacity to turn profit. So they're incentivized to do that. You don't see none of the Black congressmen, any of them, talking about, well, we got to get this bill off the thing. When the Democrats were in power in the House, it wasn't going to happen. I know there's going to be some people talk about, well, you could do whatever you want in the House. You still got to get through the Senate. That's not the point. My point is this. Have any of you guys ever heard of a congressional member, even in the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC, get on national TV or on the House floor and say, we need to repeal this bill? Never, because they just want to worry about themselves getting their checks and that their families are okay.
Hello, Tito says, don't sleep, Freddie. We'll get you Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's do this. I'm going to open up the link, and I would love to see, let's see, who was that? Anthony Johnson. I'd love for you to come up first because you said this here, and I want you to tell us why. If you don't mind, all I would ask is, if I don't know you and I haven't seen you before, please show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen so I can make sure it's legit. And I also want to ask, because I feel like it's going to be a lot of people trying to come up here, keep your commentary to a minimum so that we can keep it moving for the time that we are here. But I would love to, for you to come up. So there's a link on YouTube pinned, and I'm going to put it once again. Oops, right here. So I just put it in the chat. Mike, let me have Anthony come up first, and then I can have you come up. Thank you. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? I just want to say hello. And King of Sorrows, how are you doing? He says, when they say they're going to do something for people of color, I already know they don't mean us. Exactly, right? But they depend on us, though. They depend on us to help them continue doing everything they're doing. But then once they get in office, it's like, well, I don't think we can do that. And like y'all said, Cory Bush and all that kabuki theater they got going on with the Black Congressional Caucus talking about some $14 trillion in reparations for Black people. First of all, 90% of the Republicans in the Congress don't support it. 50% of the Democrats in Congress don't support it. And most Americans outside of Black people don't support it. So we know they're just talking. They're just talking because they know election season is coming up. So what they're doing is they're warming up the butter biscuits for us and saying, here, reparations. And they know we get all warm and tingly inside when they talk about reparations. But it's like, y'all got the power. Y'all was really serious about it. Don't talk about it. Bring your ass outside the halls of Congress when you've actually signed the bill and y'all say, you know what? Checks are on the way. They are on the way. We've talked about it. We voted about it. It is now law. Look for your check. Don't tell us what you're going to want to, finna, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We don't care about that no more. Tell us when you actually get the checks out in the mail, direct deposit, or however you need to do it, right? And Mr. 619 USC, how you doing? Says, I'm officially holding my vote until we get something for it. Why is that a hard concept? Same here, right? Bakari, he says, no, I never trust them people or their institutions. And Cali, he says, government actors manipulate the ignorant through lies, just asking for transparency, not repeated rumors, aka lies. Absolutely. And hello, Lisa, how you doing? And Benjamin says, the destruction of, all right, so I'm gonna put you up here. I'm gonna mute your mic. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. You say the destruction of Black civilization by Chancellor Williams, chapter 15, the shape of things to come, a master plan. All right, Jason, what is on your mind today?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Hey, just want to say shout out to Uncle Donovan. I'm an Air Force veteran as well. Gotta hold it together. And shout out to you too, man. You drop knowledge every weekend. It's just the first time I was actually able to get on the show. Big up to you. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to speak on the Florida thing. I'm from Florida, born and raised, returned to it after my duty in the military. What Ron DeSantis is really doing, he just panders. He panders to a specific demographic, mostly, white folks. And he has these talking points that he feels that they're going to keep him in office. He probably wouldn't have won the last election if he hadn't ran against a former Republican turned Democrat. Because the guy that he ran against was Charlie Crist, who was a Republican for 8 years, and he got out of office. And then he tried to return to the governor's seat as a Democrat. But also the African-American studies, the issue with it wasn't necessarily deletion of African-American history, but it was more like it was, forgive me, but
no, I know what you're saying. So it wasn't that he was trying to get rid of African-American studies, but there were some things, including the things that I said, that they wanted to include, like
gender fluidity and Black history or something like that. It was something along those lines.
Yeah, things like that. Mm-hmm.
LGBTQ in the Black history, within Black history. Mm-hmm. And so those are the things that he shot down. But yeah, he's a terrible governor, honestly. He just made a lot of teachers mad recently. He is trying to make it harder for teachers to join the union. And so a lot of people are starting to get upset with him about that. But he doesn't care anymore anyways, because he's trying to run for president. He's trying to get the law changed that if he doesn't win, he can come back to being governor. That's why he hasn't announced his bid yet. Because once he announces his bid, he loses that seat and the lieutenant governor becomes governor, and so on and so forth. But yeah, the guy is a snake, man. I can't stand him. I
Yeah, but
really can't.
it's like, but I agree. I mean, I cover Ron DeSantis quite a bit, and he's not a good guy, but like you said, he's trying to make life better for him and his homies. But again, what do we as Black people get for mobilizing against Ron DeSantis? What do we get for that?
Well, at this point, nothing. But we will have to get together, and I think more people are starting to wake up. More people are starting to have these conversations, especially with the talk of reparations actually hitting mainstream media. More people are starting to get on the train. So, okay, well, I feel like this is actually a talking point now. So with that being said, within this next election, I mean, I vote for myself. Last election, I didn't vote. I'll be honest with you. I just withheld my vote. I don't like him, and the guy that he ran against was a former Republican turned Democrat. He just wanted the power. He didn't necessarily do anything anyway, so I didn't vote for him as well. The last time I voted was for Andrew Gilliam. I mean, regardless of the things that we know, his sexual orientation or anything, but I wanted to see a change within Florida, because as long as I'm in my 30s now, and I don't ever remember Florida having a Republican Democratic governor. It's pretty much always been Republican. It's always been a red state. But I mean, that's just what I do. I vote for myself. Me and my wife, we discuss these things, and I vote for my interests, my Black interests, from the interests of my children. And I think as long as people start to actually do their homework, things will start to get better.
Absolutely. Well, we love and appreciate you, Jason, for coming up. And I was so glad that you finally caught us live. Please come back and see us again.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Bye-bye. Brother Don, how are you? What do you have on this conversation?
I'm waiting for my mic to queue up.
Okay, so we'll continue talking until you do. So I'm gonna put you on mute. Okay, so let's see here. And who else? Mike, I know you wanted to come up. And Andre, that was Andre. You supposed to be coming up here to tell us why we should vote. I'll put you on mute for just a second. Tell us why we should vote for the Democrats. I think it was. Let me make sure. So I don't get my names wrong. I think that's Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony. You're supposed to be coming up and telling us why we're supposed to be doing that. All right, Brother Don, what's on your mind?
It's all a distraction. It's all a distraction. We're not, these people have shown us over time their opinion of us. The problem that we have as a people is that we don't know who we are. We think we're having these problems because we're Black. Oh, they're messing with us because we're Black. They're doing this to us because we're Black. No. You guys saw what the truth was. Certain people mentioned certain things. It got a little hoopla for a minute till they were able to put it back under the rug. The reality is this. We are a people that most people have forgotten about because they bought the lie that the world has put out. That we are just some people whose history started somewhere in Africa, but we really didn't have an identity until we got to the United States as slaves, as enslaved people. The reality is we have a history that was written about. Matter of fact, our history was written about really pretty much with the foundations of this world, because of the fact that our history really is the only history that matters in this world. And our history prophetically going forward is the only history that's going to matter in this world. We are the people We are part of the tribes of Yasharel, in particular, the tribe of Yehuda. This is why these things are happening to us. Okay? It's not about our melanation. There's plenty of melanated people in this world that are doing just fine. It's about us as a people and who we are. That's why I said we're not getting reparations, people. We're not getting reparations because in our history, what happened was when we came out of Egypt or Mizraim, we came out with great substance. Guess what's going to happen when this thing wraps up? We call America Mystery Babylon. We're going to come out of here with great substance. And this country and its wickedness is going to be destroyed by the Most High Yah. I land my plane there.
All right, brother. We heard you loud and clear. You have anything else you want to add to the conversation?
Nah, I'm just dropping my mic.
All right. Well, I'm going to let somebody else come up here. Oops. He gone. All right. Mike, I'm going to add you to the conversation. What's going on with you?
Hi, Demetra and Donovan. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, before you start, how was your trip to California? And please tell me that you witnessed and loved our homeless section all around the city.
And yeah, sorry for my voice. I got under the weather in California, so forgive me. I'll do my best. So California trip. Oh my gosh. It was just mind blowing to see a lot of homeless people on the beach. I know in major cities, you never see a lot of homeless people, but in beaches, Venice Beach. But the one beach I did go to in particular, you definitely don't see a lot of homeless people is Suma Beach. You probably Suma Beach, Malibu. And I know that's a very
well, yeah, it's an affluent area, so you're not going to see that. They're not going to allow that.
Yes, and I noticed too that in California, you guys like to play old music. I noticed from the past, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. Like I thought, where's the modern like R&B? Because we're in the 21st century, and I feel like the people. I'm not trying to bash the Generation Xers who in California. I might come on. You guys need to like upgrade their songs because a lot of Gen Zers and millennials want something new every day, and I just noticed that California is very that's true. California is diverse, but it's very segregated based on race and socioeconomic status. And you're right, Donovan, that in California you have the Hispanics who want to hire and only employ their own people, and then you got other groups who do the same. But then the question to ask is, where do Black people fit in the middle of California? Because you're right, the Black population is shrinking. So that speaks a volume at the national stage, especially like Democrats, because the Democrats are no different from when Bill Clinton ran in 1992, because it's been corporate ties, right? Or the new Democrats. So with this corporate Democrats, what they're trying to do is telling progressives, liberals, and progressives and liberals, you gotta be on code with us, because if you go too far to the left, we're gonna be concerned that you're gonna be alienating a lot of white liberals, and that makes it very challenging for progressives to fight against racism, which includes caste reparations payments based on lineage, ending qualified immunity, passing anti-Black hate crime legislation. So these things, nothing has changed in the last 30 years, because the Bill Clinton's model is still having an impact, especially on white voters' minds, that if we focus too much on caste reparations payments, that means white people will be alienated from, not only from voting, but being like, economic actresses, right? And I see that more white liberals are either voting Republicans or sitting in this election now. And I say this, white people are the problem. They're the ones who created this mess in the first place. You guys did not, because you're right. You guys have always been a permanent underclass for over 400 years and counting. And I just read an article today. I wish I had the link. So the article showed that a rich man decides to give a middle class woman a pie, right? And then you have a poor black man. He doesn't get nothing, not even one piece of pie, the economic pie, to build intergenerational wealth. And I say Democrats, they need to go, especially Joe Biden. And the reason why Joe Biden passed, want to repeal a 1995 crime bill that he introduced in the Senate, because at that time, in the early to mid 90s, a lot of white people were feeling that they were victims of crime, right? So Democrats had to make a deal with Republicans. Okay, we'll get gun control signed to law, but Republicans say to Democrats, okay, Democrats, that means you need to incarcerate a lot of black people if you want your gun control to be enacted. So we're gonna do a mix. And
Right.
So that's how we built the prison industrial complex. Even if we eliminate the for-profit prison, it's still not going to solve slavery due to the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And I also say this to your audience. Maybe some might be the black Democrats. I say to them, it's time to vote for third parties, such as the Green Party, the Human Rights and Liberation Party that value caste-based reparations based on lineage, or the Party for Socialism and Liberation, because those parties value actually worker cooperatives. So it might benefit black workers to have skin in the game or to have ownership in companies. So that way they're not being like
Absolutely. Yep.
sorry.
No worries. But I appreciate you, Brother Mike, for coming up here. As always, I'm having a good handle on the need for reparations for American descendants of slavery. So once again, thank you so much for coming, talking to us, and please do not be a stranger. Come back.
I'll definitely come back once my voice gets better.
You know what? I had laryngitis last week, so I know how you feel. And if you want to talk too, but it's hard.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me see. Sometimes people have a hard time. Oops. Sorry. Mr. Johnson. Can you hear me? We can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, hold up. You have to unmute yourself.
There we go. Can't hear you.
You might have to go out and then come back in. I'll wait for you. Go out and come back in.
Yeah.
Right.
A real quick. I hope I'm saying this right. Leodis Conley Jr. says Southern California does not define the entire state of California. You have the Central Valley region, the Bay Area, and Northern California. I get tired of hearing people basing everything on LA. But let me ask you this though. Even in those areas that you just described, I used to live up in Fairfield, California. To even live in the Bay Area, you almost got to be a damn near millionaire just to live up there. Black people are almost in the exact same, if not worse condition up there than they are down here in LA because of the cost of living up there. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but when it comes down to it, if you look at the whole state of California, in my opinion, Black people are in dire straits here in California. It's as simple as that.
That's my sister. She says y'all can't come see Thunder. That's what they call it, Thunder Locks. She got.
Oh, I've been trying to come see Thunder for about 30 years.
Yeah, she's in Florida, so I mean, there's Black people everywhere. That's why I'm like, this is silliness. You want to use Black people of color, everybody else to do your fighting. So it's crazy. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and as far as people basing everything off of LA, I mean, yeah, all of California has got issues, especially with Black people. And LA is the cost of living is expensive. Where I'm from, which is not too far from Los Angeles, Riverside, it's expensive too. It's one of the most expensive places to live in Southern California. So regardless of where it is, anywhere in California, it's hard for Black people to live there. Black people in California are less than 6% of the population. You know what I mean? So it's like we got it rough everywhere, especially in California. And hell, most people that live in California, unless you're an athlete or you're in Silicon Valley somewhere or in the tech industry or a celebrity, you got money, it's hard to live there. You kind of got to get roommates and all that other stuff. I told y'all when my daughter went to college, I think it was 2000. When did she graduate? 2017 or something like that. I don't know when it was. She was paying $1,100 for a room in San Francisco. $1,100 for a room. Did not have her own personal bathroom. She shared with somebody else who was renting it, and they didn't even have a full kitchen. $1,100 freaking dollars for a room. And that was a couple of years ago. So I cannot imagine what it is now. So we're waiting for Anthony to come back. But until he does, anybody else want to click on the link? Sunlight, how you doing? Long time no see live anyway. Y'all want to click on the link, please do so. It is on YouTube. You want to come up and give us your 2 cents or 3. We love and appreciate that.
And let me ask you this, Demetria. Do you think that there will be a challenge to Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination?
There should be. There should be a challenger because we know it's not typical that people challenge the incumbent. They just kind of say, well, we won't challenge him. But I think that he should be challenged. I don't like to engage in ageism, but Joe Biden has been involved in Washington for over 50 years now. Will be about 86 years old at the end of his second term. Seems kind of like he's got something going on, that may be cognitive. I don't know. And the other thing too is I think people need to really understand that if something does happen to him, Kamala is going to step in. Now, I know there's some Kamala Harris fans out there, but ask yourself, what has Kamala done that makes you say, oh, yes, if she got that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning, she'd be up for the job. Because y'all remember that was going on when Hillary Clinton and Trump was running, or she was running against, I think, Obama at the time. And the question was, if the phone rang at 3 o'clock in the morning, would you be able to answer the call? Y'all think Kamala going to be able to answer the call? Would you trust Kamala with the nuclear weapon codes, the bat phone, the red button, or anything, and even the special seasoning in the kitchen? Would you trust her with that?
Well, I don't know, because she used Air Force 2 to go get them greens when she was on the public's dime. So I don't know.
And that was highly important, to be bringing smuggling greens on the damn plane. And that's the kind of stuff she tells us. Ooh, this Doug and them, they love to do. Her husband look like he can even tolerate some seasoning. No.
Yeah, remember that episode of Good Times where the building inspector got stuck in the projects because the warlords were battling at the bottom? And he goes, oh, this is turnip greens. And he tried to talk all that soul stuff, and he's about to eat it. And they go, oh, the gang war is over. Gotta go. He was like, I'm not eating this crap.
Yeah, so I mean, I like I said, I know some people, think we be bashing the Democrats. It ain't that. We're just telling the truth. And again, Donovan nor I are Republicans. They're just as bad, but hell, they don't hide it. They're not throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Talking about, well, I just love Black people. We love visiting your church. We love going to the fish fries with you. They ain't doing none of that. They're like, we making it known we don't like your black ass. See, I could deal with that. It's them Democrats that make us think, oh, well, listen, y'all stood by me, and I'm going to stand by you. But on the other side of their neck, Donovan, what is Kamala telling us about reparations?
Wait, let's be clear. I don't think you expect me to do anything specific just for Black people. No, let's be clear. No, we're not doing it. No.
So, which is it? You gonna stand by Black people, or you gonna do what your homegirl said? And I'm not gonna just do anything just that for Black people now. So they telling us who they are, but somehow we keep like, oh my God! If somebody slaps your face every day, they come up to you, wham! They do it for 364 days, and on the 365th day, they say, "All right, I ain't gonna slap you today. And you say, okay. And then wham, they slap you. It's like, well, I've been doing it. What made you think anything was gonna change?
Exactly. And then I got another question for you real quick. And anybody in the chat, what happened to those Biden butt kissers that were talking about, well, he just got in office. Now, this man's been in office for 3 years now. 3 years. They said, just give him time. Give him time. How much more time does he need to do for Black people who saved his campaign and put him in office? Where are those people at?
They still waiting. Give him that time. He just got in the office. What you want him to do? You know what I'm saying? It's like those people. I'm gonna be nice because I'm gonna just say this. Those people really just irk me. If y'all haven't been irked so bad, that irks me because it's like you're saying, sign up with ignorance with us. Just be ignorant with us. Keep selling that lie that somehow Kamala and Joe gonna put on a ruby red slipper some damn wear and click their heels together and do something for Black people. I guess the Chucks and the Pearls at this point. They're gonna click the Chucks and the Pearls together and decide to do something for Black people. They're not gonna do that. And like y'all said, they at Howard, which baffles me. Y'all making this man an honorary doc, giving him an honorary doctorate. Y'all allowed this man to come up in there and speak. Talking about, well, I'm not just saying this because there's Black people here. White supremacy is, the problem in the country or whatever the case is. But it's like, it was not that long ago that Howard students were sleeping on the lawn because their dorms had rats, roaches, mold, leaking water, and everything you could think of bad. And I don't ever hear Kamala being demonstrative, like, oh, hell to the no. That's my alma mater. Y'all better get there. We didn't hear her do none of that. But yet they gave him an honorary doc. They said he is Howard's, favorite son. Like, nah, y'all his grandkids because he's up there, right? But he's the favorite son. For the life of me, I don't really understand. The story time, how you doing? And let's see who else came up on here. Mad Marks, how you doing? He said, who doesn't love a good fish fry? I mean, I get it. I haven't been to a fish fry in a long time, so I guess I can understand it, but damn. I've never tasted any fish that was seasoned that damn good for me to continue being stupid. I'm sorry. I don't know. I would wonder, are they putting crack on the fish to, like, is it for seasoning? Like, what's going on to where we would continue? I mean, and even at those fish fries, that's James Clybourne's thing. He's the third most powerful Democrat in Congress.
Yeah, he was. As Nancy Pelosi left and all that. I mean, he's still running stuff behind the scenes. That old guard is not going to go nowhere.
However, he was seen just a week or so ago talking about, y'all not going to get reparations. Hell no. So this is a Black man who's probably one generation removed from the plantation his own damn self, okay? And he talking about Black people. Y'all know why people like it, Jimmy Clyburns and all those other people can say they're not for reparations? Because they getting theirs. They getting their reparations. They've gotten theirs. They set for life. And that's what the older people do. No shade to them. What Jim Clyburn, he's not even a baby boomer. He's a silent generation, the generation before the baby boomers. They've gotten all their stuff, and now they want to continue to dictate to the rest of us what we should settle for. Back in the economy in 1934, you can make $5 a month and survive. But yet they expect for some people to survive off of $7.25 an hour all these years later, and then talking about just deal with it. But keep voting for more of nothing. So I don't know. I don't blame them, though. That's our fault because we keep putting them in office. Leo, you say, I guess the cost of living has been getting high for many years in California. I'm a California native. Same here. Raised and grew up in Fresno, Madera. Been living in the Bay Area for over 30 years. And your comment cut off. So I'm a Southern California girl. I was born in Oakland, though. So I'm a Southern California girl. Now, so I get it. Yeah, California is high. It's going to be high, and it's going to be that way till we die, Right.
And then I don't know if you guys have seen Oakland lately. I mean, Oakland looks man, I mean, with the gentrification that is happening in Oakland, it's the same thing that's going on in LA. Wherever Black people live, to keep us a permanent underclass, that's what they're going to do. This debt ceiling stuff that they're doing, that affects predominantly 70% of the Black population, because if you miss your rental payment, that's an excuse to get you out of your homes. They have all of these ways to keep us just in massive poverty. And the sad thing is, we don't realize we have no friends and we have to depend on ourselves. We can't live off the government forever. They're showing you that they're going to single-handedly strangle you. The same person that feeds you and clothes you and houses you is the same person that can take those things away. Then what are you going to do?
Absolutely. So I guess maybe Andre is still having some technical difficulties. So if y'all want to click the link and come up and, quickly give us your opinion, we would love and appreciate you for that. Rain, you crazy chumps and pearls. Yeah, I mean, where are all those people at that was running around in chucks and pearls and all that? Where are they at? My thing is at least defend what, y'all was defending when Kamala was marching through the streets of DC at Howard and like where y'all at? We haven't heard a peep from those people. Like Donovan said, most of the people on his side talking about, well, I ain't in politics no more. I don't even do that no more. But you was in politics. I'm telling you, I know me and Donovan ain't the only ones, but I know a lot of y'all got effed up during last election season. I've had people block me. They call me everything but a child of God. I'm a horrible person. Oh, how dare you? Man, we went through it. Family members arguing back and forth with just a lot. And everything that was said. Now, listen, I also want to concede this, okay? I know the thought of a Trump presidency was scary for a lot of people. I know that, okay? But when they ask you to choose the lesser of two evils and you really match up both sides, then the lesser of two evils would have been Trump. Because do I think that Trump is racist? I think he is to some degree. I think that's true with most white people. To some degree, I think there's levels. But Black people didn't have a problem with Trump when they was having them all up in the videos and he was all at the fights and he was, Black people love Trump. You couldn't tell Black people that Black people wanted to be Trump, right? Because it symbolized wealth and, the glamorous life. But then when whoever they are, said, oh, Trump is the devil, then everybody jumped on board, even Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton was homies with Trump, but now he talks, he speaks out about him the most. And it's like, now you really need to shut up because that was your homeboy.
But who is he getting his check from right now? The liberal Democrats, the MSNBC. They give him a little show on Sundays, and now he's supposed to be the voice of Black Americans, speaking for Black folks and all this other stuff. But he only shows up when a tragedy, another Black person has been murdered in the streets. That's when he wants to show up to give the eulogy, to keep his name out there. His Action Support Network, what's that? That's like saying Trump Organization. It's a small group of people that keep getting paid and getting checks.
Absolutely. So Artemis, how you doing? By the way, says two of those people are Whoopi and Sonny Hostin from The View. So are they big time Democrats as well? I mean, they've gotten their piece of the pie too, and now they want to sit up and tell everybody else just what size pie they should be happy for. That's not how that works. We have a choice in the matter too. I don't like pumpkin pie, so stop trying to tell me that I'm gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. You know what I mean? But that to me, that's the equivalent of what they're doing. Oh, just eat it anyway. You're gonna like it eventually. I'm never gonna like it. You know what I mean? Let's see here. And Simone B, how you doing? It says they are sprinkling the fish with delusion. Something, right? I want to stay away from that seasoning. Let's see here. Bobby Craig, how you doing? It says, gee, I wonder why. And I'm sorry, I don't know what that's in reference to. Leota says we need to stop looking for a miracle with Democratic Party. Actually, both parties work in total collaboration to deceive our communities. Exactly. They do all that for us. This person, that person across the aisle. And then they at the holiday party together talking about, well, you deserve an Oscar for that performance you put on because they're all friends. I mean, we've heard Joe Biden say for years, he's got friends across the aisle. because Joe Biden, they brought up what he did or did not do in reference to Anita Hill. When Clarence Thomas was trying to be confirmed to the Supreme Court, he said, yes, I will admit that, because he was on head of the Judicial Committee or something like that. He said, yeah, I admit I didn't put my Republican friends in check. I just allowed them to do it. So it's like, you're saying those are your friends. You watched them dog Anita Hill. I don't know whether she lying or not. I don't know. But you watched them do it and you sat there and laughed about it. So they're all friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know what's really sad too? You have that guy, for those of you that haven't been following, in Louisville, Kentucky, or basically in Kentucky, Mitch McConnell's selected Negro, Daniel Cameron. He's the Attorney General of the state of Kentucky. He won the nomination, Republican nomination for governor of Kentucky. Now, I'm not sure what the population thing is in regards to black versus white in Kentucky. It's probably mostly white majority. But, okay, here's a guy that refused to give Breonna Taylor family justice. Woman was shot dead. Nobody was held accountable. And yet this man won the nomination for governor of the Republican Party. Where's the NAACP? Where are these so-called black leaders? Where is Benjamin Crump, other than he represents the Taylor family, which got a record settlement? Don't get me wrong, I'm not like holding him out there, but where is Al Sharpton, Mr. Civil Rights guy? Where is the Congressional Black Talkers? Where are all these people that are supposed to get black people justice? How is this man going to win the nomination? I just don't get it. Following the story, I didn't see anybody debate him. He went basically on, he ran against somebody, but it wasn't really anybody powerful. Once he's picked, he's picked. But I didn't see anybody on the national news over there or the local news talking about what this man had done and, all this other stuff and trying to appeal to these Christian values of fairness. None of that was done. We move as black people. We move from one tragedy to the next tragedy to the next tragedy. It's so sad.
Yep. So I want to actually answer two questions here. And Sunlight says, how are the other groups supporting California? They organize. They are organized. They practice group economics, all of that. So that's how they're able to afford it. They know how to live in one house, 10 of them, to get what they need so they can continue to buy the block. Us, unfortunately, I
can't live with my mama. I can't live with him. I gotta have my own. I gotta do that. Can't do it.
Yeah, we've unlearned how to do that. We don't know how to do that anymore. We have even learned that, if you got to live with somebody, you broke, something wrong with you. But they know how to shack up in one house and, wash, rinse, and repeat. That's how they're doing it. They have a community. As Dr. Claude Anderson said, we don't have communities. We just live in neighborhoods. A community is something that is fully functional, right? They, like, say, Hispanics in California, they can go out the door and not too far to a grocery store. In fact, in California, there's several. I'm not talking about like mom and pop grocery stores. I'm talking about chains, Cardenias, Maxi Foods, and there's another one. I can't. It escapes my name, memory. But they have full-fledged chains, grocery chains that they could go to.
And
where's the black grocery chain? Very
rare do you hire a black person. They might hire you to go get some carts outside.
Yep. And let me go to this one here. And consider how you doing. It says for the ones who can feel always talk about you said basically he's talking about going to the motherland. Why do we stay if you have not visited? Go and visit. Yeah, Donovan and I have gone to the motherland, and yeah, I totally agree with you. Once you go, you're gonna be like, I need to go back and I need to entertain staying there. Not if, but when I move to Africa, I want to move to South Africa. I want to go to Joburg. Joburg is nice. I like Joburg, Johannesburg. So yeah, I totally agree with you. People need to go. You had to go once in your lifetime to see what it's all about. And
yeah, but unfortunately, in our community, we are so indoctrinated to stay in our communities or in our neighborhoods. I mean, I have relatives that they rarely leave LA just to come out to like the country or the rural area. To them, that's like, oh my God, no, I can't go out there. How is it to live next to white people? I mean, we're just so comfortable in our neighborhoods. And that's the sad thing. And, and we've been trained to think like that. I mean, you got people that won't even get on a bus to go see other communities and other places in the United States. And one thing we know about the world is what we see on TV or the internet. And I mean, that's the majority of us. It's really sad. That's why you see a bunch of families for generations that stay in one town. In the town that I was born in, my great-grandmother, she was born there, she was raised there, she died there at like 97 years old. She died there. And I remember when I was 16 years old, she told me, it is good that I'm traveling the world at a young age and that I should continue to travel because that is one of the best educations you will get about how the world really operates.
No, absolutely. You got to travel. I'm one of those people, I'm a homebody, and thinking about travel, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to stay home. But the closer I get to traveling, I'm like, okay, I'm getting excited, right? So you just got to get, even if it's not somewhere far, try another country. Don't go to the DR though. The DR didn't like me. Stay away from the DR. Hello, Ali. How are you? And I'm going to catch up to these comments because I know that we're behind. You guys can click the link if you want to come on. Let's see here. Seriously, Red. And how you doing? He says, I can't understand why the migrants were filtered to highly populated cities and the elites that own the hotels are making boohoo dollars while we are footing the bill. Hello. Yep. It's all the money thing, right? Because as we know too, especially in Chicago, was it Chicago? New York. New York, they put out the homeless veterans. They got to go. And some other places, because in one of the hotels, I can't remember the name of it, they were getting $90 a room for the veterans, and now they'll be getting $190 to place the migrants there. So, yeah, we paying for that. So, Artemis, she says, what are you and Donovan's options of the Negro opinions? I'm sorry, I think that's what you meant. Of the Negro church preachers, we already agree about the politicians. Wow.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Politician, pimp, pastors, they're all cutting the same cloth. They're all cutting the same cloth. They're good with speaking out of their mouths and getting the money. And then at the end, you're just used up. What did you say, Demetra? Rode hard and put away wet.
Rode hard and put away wet. Yeah. And my opinion of the black pastors, I mean, I'll say this. I don't think all black pastors are bad, or pastors, if that's what one say. I don't think they're all bad. I think there's some good ones. I think, unfortunately, they've gotten off track. When we were kids, you go to the church, the pastor, you actually talk to him. You can't talk to none of these pastors nowadays without making an appointment with the armor bearer. And then the armor bearer got an appointment. You got a person you got to talk to. It's like, walking on water to do that. But I think that the black church raises a lot, they raise a lot of money. And if you go to any black neighborhood, you'll see there's 11 churches in that neighborhood. And usually that neighborhood is dilapidated. It is tore up from the floor up. And the nicest building in the neighborhood are the churches. Some of the nicest cars are attached to that church, which is driven by the pastor. Now, they rake in money hand over fist, week after week after week, and none of that is spilled back into the community. And as I always say, if sister so-and-so, our brother whoop-de-whoop, needed some money, the first thing that the church is going to tell them, well, the benevolence fund is kind of low. We ain't been doing that good. But it's like, ain't that a new pair of gators you got?
And aren't you guys building this super church that you've been putting in with the parking lot that still hasn't been built in Rubino, by the way? But how many of you guys heard this story? And Brother Phil, I think, did a story on this about the woman who went to her church, never missed the tithing day. She was turned away from her church because she needed some help. And they calculated that the church kept records that she had given the church over $60,000 over her time as being a member of that church. And they turned her away without any help. That's what our churches do. That money went right into the pastor and his family's pockets. And, in my opinion, that's where I think it would go,
But you know what, though? And Mad Mark, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. He says, I voted for Marcel Dixon. Yeah, Marcel Dixon was running against, trying to anyway, Jim Clyburn, and they didn't want him. It's like, how do y'all choose Clyburn over Marcel? What universe does that make any sense? The brother talking about reparations and actually doing something for black people while you're getting a fish fry from old boy. That is absolutely madness to me.
The Democrats stole the election. Maybe Trump is right. Maybe. I don't know.
Hello, Arniba. I want to say this too. It's the same thought process with the black church as it is with black people in the Democrat. You know damn well when you go to church, not all churches, but a lot of them. Okay, I want to say that. When you go to church, it's going to be the same thing. You're not going to be better off. Now, okay, I shouldn't say that. You might be better off from going to church, but if you have a black pastor or church or whatever, and they're not helping the community that you come from, you catching the bus while he rolling with a Rolls Royce, that's a problem. If you cannot say, well, you know what, Pastor, I pay my tithes faithfully every month. You ask me every week, sow a seed of faith. I do that. And now I'm asking you for help because my lights are going to get turned off. And you tell me, I'm sorry, sister. We love to help you, but we ain't really got it like that. You hear that one time, that should be your last time up in that church. It really should be. And I agree. You've been in the church all that time and paid all those tithes and offerings, and I got to pay to be buried, or have you say God is good or whatever the case. I got to pay you to do that after all the money you've gotten from me. See that? But that's our problem because we keep signing up for abuse. At one point in time, we got to say enough. Y'all know me. I don't go to church. I know some people, probably say I'm a demon, devil, evil, whatever. I don't care. I've been called worse. But I'm smart enough to know that, and this is my opinion, going to church is a waste of time. I know the Bible fairly well, and I can tell you there's a lot of people who say they go to church, but they don't act like they go to church. So we also should judge people by the things that they do, right? Not the things that they say. I know I say that in the Bible somewhere. So, but no, I don't go to church because I've seen a lot of things up in the church, and I'm like, well, if this is going on in a lot of people's churches, shouldn't nobody be up in here? That's just my opinion. But anyway, let's see here. I'm gonna skip on down. King Osiris says community, commune together in unity. Yeah, we don't really have that, right? Consider, he says, I went for 6 weeks and didn't want to leave, going back and retire there in 2 years. See, that's what I'm talking about. Deuces, right? I'm out of here. And that's really what we should be doing. I know some people are like, I know this is our land. Great. Stay here and make it do what it do. But there's some people like, I want to go live a peaceful life while I can, And Sunlight says they have Hispanic grocery stores and majority Black New Orleans too. But the Historical Circle food store is no longer Black owned. It was the only one I know of in the South. Because I was thinking about Circle K. We had those in California. I was like, are those Black owned? But he said Circle Foods, yeah. But again, where are the Black grocery stores? I ain't talking about mom and pop. I'm talking about
Food Lion.
Yeah. Where are those at? We don't have them. Brother Diane says Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. Ooh, that's a long verse. Is all you need to know about us. Joel 3 will tell you what is going to happen to them in the end. Isaiah 47 and Revelation tells you it is happening to the America. Yeah. As I said, Don, I don't go to church, but I do know the Bible a little bit. And yeah, a lot of that stuff, I would say it's probably prophecy, or whatever the case is. There's a lot of good lessons in the Bible, but I think we also know there's a lot of contradictions in there too. So that's why I'm cautious as to what I inculcate, because I just know, right? So anyway, Monet says, I was talking to my mom, who is almost, we agree that we need to leave America. So much is going downhill fast here. It is. It's scary to think about all the things that are going on to Black people in America. I mean, it really is.
Well, and then you got to think about this too, people, especially if you've never traveled outside of the United States. United States has been on the decline since the end of World War II. That was the peak of the United States. We've been on the decline ever since. And just like she just said, things are getting bad here really fast, really quick. But look at all the other nations that are now up on the rise. Africa is like telling America, what? You ain't coming over here doing all this. I mean, that has never happened before, because as we're declining, they're rising and they're realizing, hey, we control all the resources in the world that are here in Africa. Why are we bowing down when we should be being praised? And so now you're getting all this pushback from these nations that are finally rising and standing up to these Western world powers.
Absolutely. Hello, Dr. Matthews. And you say the church supposed to be the moral compass in the community and supposed to be there for the community. Yep. That's the way I remember it when I was a child. I mean, our pastor, you call him at 3 a.m. Oh, this is going on. And if he could, he was like, he could call him. It wasn't 15.
But you remember back in those days, the pastors also had a job too.
Yeah, but even if those pastors didn't have a job, they didn't build the congregation, for 20 mansions on the hill. It's like, no, you're supposed to get that in heaven. You ain't supposed to be getting that from us here, okay? They lived in a little parsonage that was next door. They had a little modest living or whatever. But today, hell no. I personally cannot contribute to that. You living better than me. I'm not saying, listen, I know the Bible says that the pastor, you are supposed to take care of the pastor. It does say that, but it's like, I think that we all should be in a good spot, right? Like, the pastor's going to go home to a nice 15-course meal that's probably going to be prepared by the sisters in the church. But there's somebody in that same congregation that will go home to nothing on their table. That's a problem. LS, what's on your mind?
What's going on, Demetria? Hey, Donovan.
How you doing?
Wow. It's y'all always come with them hot topics, don't you?
We try to.
Oh man, let's start in Florida. Which I was speaking on earlier, is queer theory. That's what was included in the CRT curriculum, and why he, eliminated that from their educational system, and rightfully so. And in the quote DeSantis put out there, he said, what does that have to do with Black history? That's an agenda being pushed on our children. And look, this is not me waving DeSantis flag, because if you want him, and by that I mean go at him, here's what you go at him on. He signed an anti-Semitic bill for Florida in Israel. Why are you signing bills for Floridians to live under, for a whole country and a particular group of people that are not, some of them are here, but you went over there to their stolen homeland to sign. He went there and signed that. What you said earlier about your daughter paying $1,100 a month for a room here in Atlanta, in Midtown, that's the LGBTQP part of town. They just finished a building and put it on the market where they are renting for $1,600 a month, 400 square feet. 1,600 for 400 square feet. I mean, that's a closet. I mean, how much room is that?
But you know what, though? It's like that in a lot of places where people are paying a lot of money for, hardly no space at all. And the American people are just getting squeezed out. It's a combination of stuff. It's inflation, it's greed. It's a lot of stuff, because the thing is, let's just say as a landlord, yeah, I guess inflation is probably getting to you too. But you raising the rent every chance you can. Every year, I know people getting their rents raised every year, and it's not a $50 here, $50 there. It's like $200. It's like, well, then I'm gonna have to move. You know what I mean? And as a landlord, you should think, okay, Well, if they move, then I'm gonna have to get somebody else up in here. I'm gonna have to, pay for the wear and tear of the place and get it all. It's just like people need somewhere to live.
Well, are you all familiar with who Klaus Schwab is?
Who?
Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum. He's the one that wrote the book about the CV-19 and the things that we have experienced since 2019. Well, he has a quote that he says, "You'll own nothing and be happy." This is a guy whose father, just like George Soros, their fathers were Nazis. There are many people in different levels of government who are members of the World Economic Forum and are obligated more to that than to you and me, which not really me, because I don't vote, but to the voters out there, the people you vote for, more times than not, are obligated to someone else outside of you. No matter how much money you give them, no matter how much support you give them, no matter if they look like you or not. Go ahead, Demetri.
Yeah, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said neither party is for us. Why are we having that conversation? Why are we fighting? The best thing we can do, as they say in the nation, accept your own, be yourself, do for self. Marcus Garvey said it years ago. Up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. But here we are, and that's part of, you guys read the Communist Manifesto. Actually, all of this stuff that we fight about, politics, race, and all that, it's a distraction from the real issue, and that's capitalism, right? Like you said, it's the money, the ones that own the means production. They're the ones that's sowing all of this division, and we fall for it. But the difference between us and other race of people, they're like, we know that. They got the same enemy we got, but they organize. Asian population is the least in population as of now in America, but they're the wealthiest population. How do you think that is? A lot of them people came over here with nothing. Now, I know somebody gonna say, oh, what the government gives them. Yeah, that's partially true, but they know how to organize. We don't know how to do that, and we continue talking about what everybody else is doing to us, and they won't let us, blah, blah, blah. Black people in America, we see over, at this point, $1.3 trillion a year. But who is making us give 97% of that away? It is us. Who is making us vote for the Democrats or anybody else that continuously shows us their backside and do nothing? Like, nobody at this point is making us do it. And listen, I'm not a person that denies institutional and systemic racism. I know that exists. It's never going to go anywhere. But all the other races of people, they have figured out how to lessen the blow. They have figured out how to make something move. I told y'all about the Hispanics in Miami on the construction crew. They sat up there knowing goddamn well they ain't got no documentation. Talking about to DeSantis, who gonna check us, boo? We find 300 white people that's gonna do what we doing. That's the boldness they have because they know what they contribute to this economy. Black people, we say this all the time. We have built this country 10 times over, and nobody's going to dispute us on that, but we don't act like that. I'm not saying this about you, LS. I'm not saying you're saying this, but we.
Oh, I ain't taking it personal, preach. I'm listening.
I just want to say this. But we continue to grovel. Oh, they won't let us. And some of that is true. But we are in the age of knowing. We know all of that stuff now. We know the tricks, some of them, most of them by now, right? But the one thing we as Black people refuse to do is unify. We fight over everything, including the time of day at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We do. We fight over everything.
Real quick, I got a question for you. Maybe Ellis could answer. Maybe you can answer, Demetri, one or the other. Now, this is the difference between us and these other groups. Yes, the government subsidizes these people and gives them a leg up, right? So if I gave you $50,000, right? Right now, I gave you $50,000. How could you come to me later on and say that you did not get an opportunity? And so what I'm trying to say is, let's say the welfare system, since we're at the bottom of it, most of us are near that area where we take it, right? After 10 years of being, let's say, on Section 8 and getting food stamps, how is it that you can't pull yourself up out of poverty? Why are we the only group that can't do it? I see migrants come here, immigrants and illegals come here. And this is the thing that really kills me. They come here with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet they get their citizenship. You've got the dreamers here in California that by executive order, not even a law, an executive order that is still going through the Supreme Court. They're getting all of these subsidies. And while they're waiting, they're not sitting on their hands like a lot of us do. They're building and they're doing this and they're practicing group economics and they're doing that and they're educating themselves. So let's say the Supreme Court finally rules dreamers get the hell up out of here. They're going to go back to their country with the skills that they learned here. They didn't waste any time because they're not sure. We're the only group, it seems to me, that 10, 12, 15 years, generations, you got generations people living off the system, which is, it's not for debate. It's just some things that happen. And yet we're still in the same position. Why is it that we're the only group that can't seem to rise above?
And let me answer this real quick. Rain says Dimitri Foundation of Black Americans have 50 plus Black Wall Street folks terrorize and burn down our thriving communities. I hate when you forget that. I don't never forget that. One person who's very well versed on what our people used to do is me. I often say that we have no excuse as to not to win because our ancestors fresh out of slavery made a go of it and they made a great go of it. But once the civil rights movement came in, we have not been on the same page since because we fell for a hook, line, and sinker. We thought that, as Donovan would say, we could go eat seasonless soup with them. That would make our life better. And we still been thinking that way to this day. So trust me, I know where our people come from. I know the ingenuity. I just said it a minute ago. Now maybe these comments are belabored that our people built this country. I know that. But what's our excuse now? As I said, we're in the age of knowing. So we know all those things. If our ancestors did it with no shoes on their feet, barely clothes on their back, no food in their stomach, running from the white man with sheets and crosses and everything else, what's our excuse? Now, I know we got a little bit of that going on, but they had it bad. They didn't have nothing to protect them. Everybody and their mama was messing with Black people, and they said we still gonna win regardless. But we sitting up here in 2023 whining and complaining about what they won't let us do. We talk about our ancestors all the time. Our ancestors. You shut your mouth. And I'm not saying this about you, Rain, but I'm just saying in general. We always talk about our ancestors. And that's why when Malcolm X's birthday, happy birthday. But that day, you know why it disturbs me? Because I see people talking Malcolm, but they don't walk Malcolm. Just like our people talk our ancestors. We not our ancestors at all. We could never. The Black people today, a lot of us, we got a lot of lip service, but we won't do what our ancestors did. Our ancestors had to do some shit they probably never told people they had to do. But we sit up here and make excuses day in and day out. Twitter is one of my least favorite places to be on the internet. You know why? Because it's Negroes complaining about every goddamn thing you can think of. I can't remember what it was. It was Jeannie Ma, who's married to Young Jeezy and one of them Negroes. I don't know who it was. Negroes was making it. She said that he teaching a baby to speak South. I'm like, this is what we doing now? We arguing over that? Jeannie Ma and Young Jeezy or whoever the hell he is, they gonna be all right. But we argue about it all. But then we got the nerve to talk about our ancestors. You keep our ancestors' name out your mouth, honestly, because you could never do the stuff that they've done until you stop complaining all the goddamn time about stuff that you could do something about. I mean, that's as best I can put it.
Well, if I can submit, not an excuse or complaining or whining, but a reason for the lack of unity in our community. There is an enemy. There are a group of people, and some of that group of people have enlisted those in our community to screw the rest of us over. I mean, y'all talk about them all the time, whether it's Jimbo Jangles Clyburn, the CBC, Auntie Mad Maxine out there in California, where you at, Donovan? The former mayor out there where you at, Demetra. All the black mayors that are here where I'm at in Atlanta, all of them are put in place not to help us, but to keep us down. Those who actually see the issue want to better ourselves in this place we call America. I mean, I live in a city now that is right next to Atlanta that formed by separating from Atlanta. It's the blackest city in America, city of South Fulton. Everybody on the council is black, got a black mayor, and they have the possibility to make this what Greenwood was. They had an opportunity to make it everything that Rain Love mentioned. All those 50 plus black Wall Streets that have been eliminated by this government. But yet, too many of us remain in the mindset where it's blue no matter who, and that's not saying run out here and vote red. But too many times when you say that, people assume that, oh, you're a Republican. No, I'm not for the BS, if I can keep it clean.
But
And
let me ask y'all this. The Mexican had their land taken away. Did they not? Yes, they did.
absolutely.
Yep.
What's going on in America with Mexicans now? Or
40% of the population by 2030.
You don't think they had a plan to take what was taken from them back? You don't, y'all
More-
don't think
more
they
than
had a
that.
plan to do that? And they are doing that.
More,
So the point,
more,
let me finish. So the point, go ahead.
I was just going to say more than them having a plan. The door is open for them to be able to take advantage. And this is
But
not
why?
an excuse.
Why?
The door is
Why?
shut on us.
Why?
Why is it shut on us?
No, why is the door open for them? Let's have a real good conversation. Why
Okay,
is it open for them?
The door is open for them because, and to refer to what Farrakhan said, they'll rather put them in charge than us. And I'm paraphrasing, because the society, the group that is responsible for us in this condition, would rather see someone else in charge rather than us, because they are afraid that we will do to them what they have done to us. And I'm not even saying that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, when it comes to go ahead, Demetra. Go ahead. You sound like you want to get
I mean,
it.
because, listen, I follow Farrakhan, okay? And the problem that I have with people, and not just you, Ellis, same thing with Malcolm.
You got a problem with me?
No. I'm saying not you.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm kidding.
Because sometimes people be like, oh my God. I'm just a passionate person. But people often
Go for it.
They talk Farrakhan, but they don't talk all of Farrakhan. Because if you would have listened to what he said on his 90th birthday, he said, there's a lot of us living in what? Did y'all watch it? Did y'all watch what he said? He said, there's a lot of us living in Niggerville. He said, who lives in Niggerville? Now, this is his words, not. I'm just telling you what he said. He said, niggas live in Niggerville, where we ain't doing much. We making excuses. We just kind of in a state of nothingness. So the point that I'm making to that is, yeah, we know that they didn't go take us, and I know some people say we was already here. Yes, we was already here for the sake of argument. Lord have mercy. They didn't go get no weak people. They went and got the strongest people on the planet Earth. But we don't know that. We don't walk that way. So of course they know if we came into our right mind, because that's what they also say in the Nation of Islam. When we become in our right mind and we wake up and get knowledge of self and know who we really are, the things that we do as Black people in this country to each other alone, we will stop doing it. We will say, I can't hate my brother. I can't kill my brother. I'm not going to hate on my sister. We're going to organize and do what we need to do. And so they have gotten us out of our right mind, and we will not come back to that, which is why we see a lot of degradation in our community, whether it's the TV, the music, and everything else you can think of. They have got us in our lower desires, right? So we argue about silly stuff. And I'm not saying that the white man has not done horrible stuff to us. They're still doing horrible stuff to us. But they've done it to them other folks too. And those other folks said, enough. We're going to organize on them. And Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, Marcus Garvey, and a whole host of other people, Dr. Carl Anderson, they tell us the same thing. Do for yourself. Organize. Practice group economics. But somehow we skip over all of that stuff and talk about what the white man is doing to us, which he is. But again, tell me one white man that's coming to the door of a Negro during Black Friday and saying, spend all your discretionary money with us this Christmas season. You tell me one white man that's making Black people go do that. If you can show me, if y'all can show me that, then I'll shut up. I will shut
Santa
up.
Claus.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
But since y'all's quoting Farrakhan, what did he say about Santa Claus?
Hey, I don't know what he said, but I can tell you what I say. The same letters that spell Santa spell Satan.
He said, down with Santa Claus and up with Jesus. That's what he said. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna let y'all all up because I'm sure y'all got a lot to say to me.
But let me say this real quick about reparations though. And I've spoken to some white people, and I have, from what they tell me, I've convinced them that, yeah, they should be get behind reparations. When people on this panel, people in the chat, when y'all speak to others about reparations, we usually get the same pushback that, you know, I didn't have slaves. My family didn't own slaves. Your response to that should be, nobody said you did, and I'm not accusing you of that. Then their next move will be, well, I shouldn't have to pay for that because I didn't have slaves. Your answer to that should be, well, no, you don't have to pay for that. The government has to. And then they'll say, well, where's the money? Where are they going to get the money from me? Well, no, they're going to pull it out of thin air, just like they do for every other group that they give it to. So print the money and give it to who it belongs to, which is us. And to speak to your point, Demetra, about how do we get out of this situation? The people who look like us, who have been put in these political positions to be above us but are not for us, we have to remove them from the playing field. And I don't mean in a violent way.
Oh, no, I know.
We can no longer support the Keisha Lance Bottoms, the Sheila Jackson Lees, and the I mean, y'all know the list. Al Sharpton, all those who would have you not go to Florida because of what the NAACP said, when it's the same NAACP who out there where you at, Donovan, said, well, no, don't give Black people $5 million for reparations. Put it into programs. No, cut the check and stop playing.
Isn't welfare housing a program? Isn't subsidies a program? So
yes.
Why would we do something that has already economically failed us? Give us our money, cut the check.
Let me say this, and I'm going to let Brother Norris and Jason, I'm going to let you go first because you were on here first. I keep seeing, people saying that they weren't stripped of everything, the knowledge of self. Yeah, we know that. But we know that now. Why do we still operate in ignorance? You see what I'm saying? It's like we know they've done that, but yet we still crying about taking your Black children to the white school system and crying because they won't teach them knowledge of self. Why don't you teach them that at home? We know they did all that to us, but why do we still remain ignorant? If anybody can answer me that, I'ma shut up. Y'all, today your challenge is to shut me up. Brother Jason, what's on your mind?
I think the answer to that question is unity, community, and family. Why we're still in the predicament that we're in. Because with unity, how the Asians got their bill passed, they all stuck together. But you better not call a Korean person Chinese. They'll flip out on you. Community-wise, like we don't spend our money, like Dr. Clyde Anderson said, we don't spend our money in our own community. We refuse to pay full price for something that if your cousin opened a business, you want to get it for the low, but you'll go to a Gucci store or Nike and spend everything that you got just to look good. And family and aspects of the social services, sometimes when people have babies and they'll depend on the government, for the child care voucher to put them in daycare. Unlike when you have a 2-parent household like me and my wife do, like I watch the baby in the morning while she is at work, and when I go to work, we switch cars, and then she watches the baby in the afternoon. That's just something that we have that saves us thousands of dollars in daycare. And also, we don't have to worry about nobody abusing our baby. But I think that's what it is: unity, community, and family.
Absolutely. And Tanya is actually a 5-story building, Dr. Claude Anderson. Brother Norris, how are you this fine Sunday? Hold on. Let me unmute you. There you go. We can hear you now. Yep, we hear you.
I'm great. Getting ready to watch the playoffs. But I tell you one thing, Demetri, I don't understand. I'm 72 years old. I agree with you and Donovan and all of these black people. I thought it was just going to be all of the black people in my generation that was going to have to die off for us to get it, for us to understand. But I've talked to nieces and nephews, and they believe the same thing. Oh, you got to vote. You got to vote. And then when you tell them, what have you gotten for your vote? They get mad with you. They get mad and go to cussing you out. I said, I have seen the enemy. It is us.
Preach.
Demetri, now I'm 72. I'm supposed to be in that dumb generation, but I'm scared this voting thing is going to be generational. I quit voting about 5 years ago. And like I say, I started to see the light. I started to listen to you and Donovan and people like you. And I said, these young people make a whole lot of sense. They're the new Malcolm X's. Only thing y'all ain't saying is the ballad of the bullet, but oh man, y'all didn't know, but they won't listen. Demetri, I just don't know. That's all I got to say. What was disheartening to me was when I saw the 20 and the 30 years old. You got to vote. You got to vote, Uncle. You got to vote, Uncle. I said, well, what am I going to get? You might not get nothing. And they said, well, they can't give anything to black people. And I said, well, they had an Asian hate crime bill. What you mean they can't give anything to black people? Demetri, I don't know. I'm thinking this stupidity is going to be generational. That's all I got to say.
You know what? You said a word right there, but it don't have to be generational. We just refuse to wake up. We keep teaching the same thing.
But this is what I don't understand, Demetri. It's evident in their minds, seems like to me, 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2. It equals 47 or 56. It just don't add up. I just don't know, and they don't understand. We have no friends. I have been through all of this, and I woke up. I really woke up when I started listening to you and Donovan. I said, I was born in the wrong generation because I didn't vote till I was 42. And I said, from 18 to 42, I never voted, and I didn't get anything. From 42 to 72, up to the last 5 years, I voted. And guess what? I still didn't get nothing. So, as an old man like me, if I can understand that, what am I voting for? What about these 20, 30, 40, 50? Oh my God. That's all I got to say, Demetrius. I
Right.
just can't take it.
But
Because I'm gonna get it when I tell them when you break it down to them, you get cussed out.
right. But real quick, Norris.
Go ahead, Don.
In the meantime, you didn't get nothing. You still made a life for yourself. You still went to work. You still did what you had to do. You're not waiting for
Exactly.
pie in the sky to drop out. And that's what we're trying to get people to say. Yeah,
Exactly.
we need to keep
Everything
talking about it, but at the same time, we need to build.
right. Everything I have.
Oh, well,
Right. And I'm all for it. Keep pushing reparations, and I tell you why.
Oh, wait, hold on. Your mic is on mute. Let me see. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Hold on.
You hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh. Oh, wait. Okay, give it 1 second. Wait, hold on. Hold on, because you're on mute. This thing is delayed for some reason.
Okay, only thing I got to say. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one more thing and I'm going. Keep fighting for reparations, and I'll tell you why. You remember for years and years and years, they kept saying, well, college students are not eligible for money. They're getting a free education. And they kept fighting and they kept fighting. And guess what? Now college students are getting money and can make money on their own names. So it will come about. Maybe not in time for me to see it, but keep going. But I appreciate what you and Donovan doing, but you're going to be cussed out by your own people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, before you jump off, man, keep preaching to them.
Yeah.
Keep preaching to them, no matter if they cuss you out or not, because you the older generation, and you telling the ones who not thinking like us, and hopefully on some level it'll finally reach them.
But that's what I'm talking about. I didn't go to college. They went to college and got stupid.
There it is.
They didn't get
there
smart.
it is. You was not lying. There it is.
It's what Demetrius and Donovan is saying is common damn sense. That's all it is. Common damn sense. They ain't even got common damn sense. Oh, but anyway, Demetrius, I'll let you go. Let somebody else talk.
Thank you. Come back and
all
see
right.
us again.
All right, I will.
All right.
Y'all have a good night. I'm going to watch the playoffs now.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Brother Don, what you got? I see you came back again. What you got on the conversation?
As we're chasing our tails, okay? To apply a physical spiritual problem. And the problem is we're going to stay in this state because we as a the Most High said, if my people would humble them, turn from their wicked ways. We are some of the on this planet.
You know what, Don, your phone is kind of cutting in and out.
If we would turn from our wicked ways, heal us, he would heal our land, and he would heal us as a people we have fallen from. The condition we're in is this. So you got, well, how did these people come in and they have nothing, and then da. This is what's been going on, 83, verse 2. For lo, made atonement. Hate you have lifted up their heads. They have taken your people, consulted against your hidden ones. That would be said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. The name of Yasharel may be no more. They have consulted together. They are confederate against you. This is the problem to say. We don't know who we are. We are the people of this book. We're the only people in the world into slavery.
So
That's what tells you. I'm not religious. I'm not religious. This is it's not a religious book. They turned it into a religion. You were going to ask me a question.
Yeah, because I hear all of that, but I also know there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that tells people to do what you got to do. Faith without the works is dead, and all of that. So yeah, I get all of that. We know we the
But you
chosen people.
got to understand what that means. Understand what that means.
I mean, regardless of what it means, because I hear what you're saying, and I really do. But my grandmother used to always say, it used to drive me nuts. Oh, I'm gonna let go and let God. But you know what my daddy always say? Prayer ain't worth a damn at a bear meeting. So while we sitting up here praying, the bears are circling. What you gonna do? Get on your knees and pray? A bear, please don't eat me? Or you gonna pick up something and swing, or pull the trigger, do something to save your own self? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I think we need to really have a conversation about both. I'm not religious either. I do believe in God. I believe in a higher power, but I also believe that God has predestined us to do for self as well. So we need to commingle that message.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're not supposed to sit
we gotta
around
do what
and
David did.
do.
We gotta do what David did.
Come on. What did David
There's
do?
time for that.
We gotta do what David did. David killed the bear. David killed the lion.
There is time for that. A set time for that for the people of the Most in accordance to His word. He's the one that runs this world is full of a lot of deception and a lot of things they are. A lot of people have been put in to keep you exactly where you are, they are not who you think they are. And they got bamboozled. Mm-hmm. The Most High says, my lack of knowledge. We have no knowledge of who these people have to be our leaders. These people are controlled. And that's why they do so well in this world. To keep you, black people, of Yasharel, the tribe of Yehuda, put under these curses. Now, see, here's the deal. When you are following his ways, obeying his, guess what will happen? Because there's people that are of the tribe of Yehuda, but the tribe of Yehuda as a whole, well, you can look at us. We're a hot mess. So that's all I'm saying. I know who I am. I'm a child of the Most High from the tribe of Yehuda. And that's the only reason I'm condition I'm in damn America. And I'm out of here. I'm going next year. Gone. So anyway, I'll make.
All right, brother. Thank you. I do love you though. Thank you so much. So, hey, honeydew, how you doing?
All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I shall. You do the same.
Yeah, I think the playoffs is gearing up, so all the fellas are like, "Hey, we got
going on." Like, all right,
we only got 7 minutes left. We only got 7 minutes left.
We got 7 minutes. Hello, Lisa. How are you? You said he's reading Psalms 83. Okay. And Rain, you're saying the same thing. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in church. I get it. But I know within that same Bible, it talks about, you got to, do for self too. God has given us the talents, the gifts, and things that we need. And that's the one thing I hate about religion and our people together is we take some of the book and we hold on to that. but we don't talk about the rest of the stuff in the book. You know what I mean? The Bible has got a lot of pages and scriptures and stuff, but we only talk about a certain part of it. And me personally, I don't want to be a part of any religion. You know, I know the Bible says, be anxious for nothing. I get it. You don't want to be, hasty in your thinking and rush. I get all of that. But I don't want to be a part of a religion that keeps telling Black people, well, you kind of got to just, and I'm not saying y'all saying this, but, be docile, wait on it, pray on it. Because I know that God has given us the ability to also do for self. So I just think we need to tell, and they don't tell us that in most of the churches. They tell us, they talk about prosperity, but then you keep coming back to church broke. You leave church broke. So, like, why are people missing the message? I don't know.
That's because the pastor actually believes in helping himself. That's why they end up broke. He's helping himself, but they're not helping themselves. So,
yep. Bug Horse, how you doing? Wait, let me unmute you. Hold on, this thing is delayed on y'all info. How you doing?
Yes, ma'am. Let me make sure I'm right. Let me make sure I'm right. Hold up. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Yes, ma'am. What's up, Dono? How you doing, man? I love your work, man. Hey,
thank
man.
you.
Yes, sir. Miss Queen K, you know what? I always listen to a lot of things that you be talking about, and I will support you. I swear to God, I will. Miss Queen K, your message is so for real. I love you so much, and I love the way how you do your hair, too. I mean, you be bumping. This all DC, Slim. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Yes, ma'am.
You know how to make me feel good. I love and appreciate you for that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you more. Ain't no question. I just wanted to make sure that I touch voice with you, let you know that I love you, and also your and
You froze up a little bit. You're frozen. Oh yeah. You froze up on us. You froze up. I'm gonna put you on mute until you unfreeze. Tyrone, how are you?
And basically the family, my nieces and my nephews, man, y'all got it going on. Ain't no question about that.
Hello?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Hold on. It be delayed on this end. Hold on 1 second, Tyrone.
Okay. Yeah, probably so. I'm sorry. I'm right here listening.
All right. I'm gonna put you back on mute. All right. Brother Tyrone, what's going on with you?
Not too much, man. Just here on this good Sunday at work.
You're not working too hard, are you?
Nah, not at all. I'm on his phone.
Yeah, Tyrone looks like one of my cousins. He looks like one of my cousins. I was like, wait a minute, don't you be coming to ask me for no money. But anyway,
what's on your mind, brother?
Nah, but what I was listening to the guy before you, man, is doing all that Bible talk, plebiscite talk, and everything, and I'm like, I'm not too well versed on my Bible, but it's also a saying in there that says faith without works is dead, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but I'm just like, see, I like low key though, I think a lot of why we in the situation that we in now is because we kind of been leaning more on one side than we have the other, because it's just like you said, you got to commingle those messages. You right, he was right, get in your Bible, seek God's faith and all that. Seek God's faith and not face and all that. But I'm like, And I think at some point, he kind of wants us to kind of, handle our business, start to handle our business on our own too,
Yep, exactly.
Kind of like, kind of like, how adults be wanting their kids kind of at some point, hey, you a grown person now, you gotta get out there and get it on your own. So it's like, but that's all I was saying. I'm just like, yeah, I think, man, I get it. We do need to see God's face and all that, but we still do need to be out here and be active. Hey, make these people, give us something for our vote. Make these people be held accountable for the situation that they put us in too. Sure, we got a lot. We got a little responsibility. A lot of the responsibility is on us too. But hey, man, hold them accountable too. It take two to tango, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm out.
All right, Tyrone.
Come back and see us.
And the good thing about that, Tyrone, is when these people get into office, we give them multiple terms. If they ain't doing our agenda the first time, there ain't gonna be no second time. We need to get somebody else in there that's gonna do it. The problem is we get them in there, and we know incumbencies. 96% of all congressmen are incumbents win re-election. But we can change that, especially when it comes to our people, because they have to go to our neighborhoods to get those votes. Auntie Maxine, Mad Maxine, she's not going to be every year since the Hispanics have been coming over here. She's been losing contingent constituents every year. We're getting gentrified out of the area and so on, so forth. So she's not going to be in that seat too much longer. And that's what we got to tell these people. You're not going to do our agenda. You're going to get one term and you're out of there.
Absolutely. So, Buckhorse, I see you back. Is your connection better? he watching the game. You watching the game too? Wait, hold on. Let me unmute you. Are you watching the game?
Yeah, you know I do. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Let me see here. Brother Diane says, Farrakhan is a 33-degree Mason. They are opposed to the Most High. So how does he represent the Most High when Satan is his Elohim? Are you talking to Arneba? I'm gonna move right along. I know Arneba gonna deal with that. Yeah, Buckhorse, your internet connection is off. It's the game is sucking all the internet from you. He done froze up again. I'm gonna remove him. So anyway, I know Donovan is going to itch to go get his piece of chicken and go watch the game. Don't lie, Donovan. Don't lie.
No, the Lakers ain't playing tonight. I don't think so.
Did they get put out or something?
And here's the thing, you guys, and I want you guys to understand this. For the money that LeBron has been paid, one championship out here in LA is not good enough for a 5-6 year stint that he's been here. Now, remember, 3 of those years, he was a pseudo GM, the people that he wanted. So for him to be successful here in LA, he should have at least brought a minimum of 2 championships. He hasn't even done that. So the LeBron experiment, I know people say, oh, he's older and so that. It don't matter. For the money that I pay you, you better deliver. Kobe won 2 without Shaq. 2 without Shaq.
You know what? When I get off of here, I'm going to go and contemplate the meaning of life. That's what I'm going to go do as I close my eyes. That's what I'm going to go do. I might go watch the Donna Summer series on HBO. I might, but I probably not, to be real with you. Let's see here. I'm just going to read these comments as we get out of here. And Tanya says, and Barbara Lee asked who I'm from the Bay Area. Yeah, I mean, they all just need to go play with the grandkids, at the great grandkids at this point in the game. Like Dianne Feinstein, they about to really she about to be lying in wait at the Rotund pretty soon. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be mean, or was it lying in state at the Rotund? She's the oldest member of Congress, and she talking about, well, I ain't gonna run again. You think? You think it's time?
Just the other day, she denied that. She said she wasn't running. That shows you how out of touch she is. But it goes to show you that power is more important to these parties than proper representation. Power is what politics is about. They don't care about us, period.
And Simone is right. It's all about the donations. You know, people talking about, oh, Joe Biden gonna come in there and do something different than Trump. He's a corporatist. He ain't gonna do nothing different than Trump. In fact,
No. I have to disagree, because the Democrats said for years the problem in politics is the Citizens United decision, which opened up unlimited money in politics. Now the Democrats for 2 years under Biden had the Congress and all that stuff. And what did they do about Citizens United? Did they repeal it? Did they do anything? They didn't do anything. These parties are the same, you guys. They're the same party. It doesn't matter. You're in a trick bag. They didn't do anything. If politics and money in politics is the problem, how come neither party wants to fix it?
Love, JJ, long time no see. You are 100% right. Power, prestige, and money. That's why they're in office. They don't give a damn about your cracks and your sidewalks and you not having no stop sign. They don't care about that. They get in there for one of those things at least, if not all. And that's why they hold on so long, because they're like, the getting is too good for me to allow somebody that to come up in here with some better ideas or whatever. Because then I leave, then my money source dry up. That's what it's about. It's for them. Politicians, it's about generational wealth. Dianne Feinstein's 1,000 years old. She's got all the money she can spend. Now it's about her getting that money to leave to her heirs. That's
a $4 billion super speed rail contract was awarded to her husband 8 years ago in the Northern California. $4 billion. Wouldn't you think that's a conflict of interest? Of course not. Of course it's not.
And shoot, and he up there, you know, I don't want you designing nothing for me, especially nothing like that. I'm not gonna get on it, right? So let's see here. And Tanya, you say you're a Warriors fan. The Facts Not Feelings says Feinstein has no shame. They are literally willing. They're literally wheeling her around and she refuses to step aside. Ain't that crazy? And then she repeats and starts talking about, I said that already. Oh, okay. I should be laughing at that because I'm sure one day that might be me. Love JJ says, we do not live in a democracy. It's an oligarchy. Yeah. I ask that people all the time. Democracy means that you have a say as well. When is the last time anybody Black in America had a say-so as to how this country runs?
Well, explain this to me, you guys. If we live in a democracy, how does the LGBTQ community can have so much power and say, and they're a small group? The Asians have so much say, and they're a small group. How does that happen? There are more Black people right now than there are Asians, and they got a crime bill on the first try.
And Governor Ron DeSantis made it a mandate that you learn about AAPI history, Asian American Pacific Islander history. He made it a mandate, but he told y'all Black asses, not on my watch. Mind you, within that mandate, he says that students must learn about what happened to the Japanese during World War II. So again, the Japanese were in internment camps. And I know they're different types of Asians. I'm not trying to lump them all together, but they down there running this country. And they were in the internment camps not that long ago. I'm just saying.
And they're a minority group as in the numbers. And yet they dictate what their group gets and whatever. And yet we have 63 members of the CBC that can't do anything. And there's only 5 votes that stop any legislation in the House.
Y'all, Michael, how you doing? And one who cares, how you doing? You say, stop calling ourselves people of color. Geez, well, we don't call ourselves people of color. You back?
Yeah, I'm back. My bad. Okay, I forgot to tell you, Demetria. The first video I saw of yours, and I was like, oh yeah. Every time I see Demetria, I'm thumbing up the video. It was a simple video. I think I put it in the comments like a while ago, but like it was a simple video. I think all you would just ask was, I just made a video to ask how y'all doing today. Hey, and I was like, I'm like, man, that was such a super video, but nobody's ever done that. That was I liked that. And I've been a fan of yours ever since. I had to tell you that. I couldn't let this moment go past without telling you that. But I'm not trying to get off the subject though. The subject was serious and it was real. We do need to get active out here, and like, hey, and I like what you said, Donovan. You right, man. We don't need to be leaving these people in there for all these terms, and they not doing nothing for us, man. I'm like a whole congressional caucus, man, and they just letting these people just mollywop us, man. It's like, yeah. Anyway, man, nah, you right, but I'm out of here, dog. I just want to tell you that I'm a fan of the show, both of y'all. Peace. I'll leave y'all alone now for real this time.
You good? Come back and see us again.
All right.
All righty. I remember that video, and I think that's a good note to leave on. I will say this: we as Black people in the United States of America, we have it worse than anybody. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what Twitter says. I don't care what nobody says. Black people have it bad. And there's
FBI
a lot
report backs that up. There's an FBI, the Department DOJ report that says nobody is more discriminated against and hate against than Black people in this country.
Yeah. And there's a lot of us that do go throughout the day without anyone saying, how you doing? And I'm not talking about in the sense of just passing the time, like I'm asking, but I really don't care. No, for real. How are you doing? We got to start doing wellness checks with our people. How are you today? And mean it, which is why, like, I like doing the live shows here, because we do have an opportunity to really talk to each other and, hey, just really see and hear what's on each other's minds. Because I know a lot of times, Brother Norris, I'm gonna put you up, but I'm gonna put you on mute. A lot of times on this thing called the internet, we do watch a lot of people. And there's some people who they'll talk the whole time they're on here, rarely acknowledge the people that's in the comment section. But I think it's important that we at least try to reach out to each other, touch and agree, have a verbal conversation, because some people, and there's been times y'all seen me on here, I was struggling with something, one thing or another, but I think we need to really just start doing that. How you doing today? And give it a couple of minutes just to hear a person out. Norris, you came back to see us. They let me tell you something. They love you. They love you. Let me unmute you. There you go.
I forgot to tell you that I really appreciate you and Donovan. We've had Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Now we got Demetria and Donovan. I rank y'all with that crowd too. And like the man said before me, you really are very pretty, and Donovan is handsome. And the pretty thing, not only y'all physical looks, you got beautiful minds. I love to hear you speak. I just hope you don't nobody hurt you or bother you. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all speaking. You know how they do. You know how they do. When you speaking truth. But I just wanted to say I'm going, but I'm leaving. But I really appreciate what y'all are doing, and keep it up. You have opened my mind tremendously. X72. Can you believe it? X72. Now I'm trying to carry your. I go around to old folks and quote y'all, and even they get mad with me. But I'm going to keep doing it. But y'all have a good evening. I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you so
much. See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
See right there, that is why we do the show, because if we could change one person, and another thing is, you guys that don't know this, we know we're not the only people that think like this. That's why you guys come on the show week after week, and we call you guys the co-hosts, because we know in your neighborhoods you are speaking and saying the same thing. And just like Nora said, yeah, you're gonna get cursed out, you're gonna get attacked and all this other stuff. But the point is, we have to make an effort to save ourselves as a people, because nobody's coming for us. It's us against everybody, period.
And I'm gonna say this, and y'all know, especially on this show, and I know y'all think I know everything. I don't. I learned a lot from you guys. And I will also say this: Donovan and I have been doing this for a while, but it's still kind of hard to run a show, especially sitting where I'm sitting, because I'm, hosting it, interacting in the comment section, trying to interact with Donovan and everybody come on here, but I would do it a million times over. But the one thing I really also want to say is, we're not always going to agree. And we don't learn if we agree. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right. No, I think we don't learn if we agree, right? Like sometimes y'all see, I'm telling you, there's a couple times that Donovan and I did a show, and I'm like, I cannot do that to them. I'm not gonna air this. I just shelved it. I was like, nah, it was a lot because we don't always agree. And I know a lot of times people see Donovan and I on here. Sometimes when we button heads, they think surely that's the end. They'll never be friends again. When we click off of here, we not even talking about it. We talk about something totally different. Donovan is my guy. He gonna be my guy till he or I die. You know what I mean? So and it's the same thing with you guys. We don't always agree, but we don't take it personally, and we're asking y'all not to take it personally either. As I said, we learn from y'all too. And nobody knows everything except for my daddy. He knows just about everything. I'm just kidding.
Wait. And mama, you're the queen of my heart.
I know you didn't sing that song to her on Mother's Day.
No, actually, I was watching Mommy Dearest. If you guys have any kind of tradition for Mother's Day, watch Mommy Dearest. I watch it every year on Mother's Day. Love it. Love it. It's camp to me, but I love it.
That was the manual of which I raised my children. Mommy Dearest. Okay. Life is not fair. Give me them wire hangers.
No more wire hangers ever.
Absolutely. So anyway, y'all, we can be here forever, but we won't. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will be in California this coming week. My one of my youngest nieces is graduating from high school, got a full ride scholarship to UCLA. So I would not miss it for anything, but I will be out there with Big Head Donovan. So maybe we'll go to his studio for old time's sake and do a show from there. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can do that one day this week. I don't know when, but we will. So in the meantime, y'all stay blessed out there. Stay safe. Have some fun. Go to sleep, whatever you're going to do. But we'll see y'all soon. Peace.